Hey, 49er faithful, it's your boy, Chili Will from the 49er Street Squad. Are you excited about tonight? Monday Night Football, baby. The Rams, the 49ers. You know what? I know we came off a bad week last week, but guess what, man? It's still not too late. We're still fighting for a post-game spot, man, and it's got to start tonight. It's got to start tonight against the Rams. And what better way to get things started this Monday Night Football day? I got a special guest, and we're going to do this new thing. I want to call it the 49 Street Squad Post Game Huddle, and we're going to do it with my boy. I'd like to welcome Antonio Arevalo.
Good to see you, Chili Will. Thank you for having me, man.
So it's Monday Night Football, man, and our 49ers are going to be taking on the Rams, a much-needed win, and we're going to get into it, man. I got some questions for you, and I just want you to just, feel free to just speak your mind, and talk to the faithful, and let's just get into it, man. My first question though is, so how do you feel about this Monday night matchup?
Chili Will, man. We have a lot on our plate right now. We're in must-win territory right now, and there's the heart being involved with the team, and then there's the realistic piece, right? So, can we win this game? You never know. Everything in the division games, things happen against the Rams. We know each other very well, but the Rams have a new quarterback this year, so and Stafford's balling. So
Oh yeah,
we
he
we
is.
just need to get to him. I think if we're going to win this game, I think it's going to depend on our defensive pass rush. We're going to have some pressures. We're going to have to also stop the run, and just score on offense, because our offense has been playing, not as they've been patchy. So, I think
Hmm.
Shanahan's going to have a good play calling game as well.
Hmm. Well, he definitely has to come out a lot better than he did last Sunday, as you remember. Against the Arizona team that actually had a lot of injuries. I think everybody was thinking, "Hey, this is a good chance to, get a step up on Arizona because
Right.
probably, if we have to face him again, whether that be playoffs or some kind of match, I don't know. Probably ain't gonna have that golden opportunity no more. So, but I guess the good news is that we're still alive. The numbers, don't look good win loss column, but we're still, I guess, in the playoff race. And so tonight, really important that we get this victory.
Absolutely. Couldn't say any better than that. We didn't play up to what our capabilities were last weekend, and we're in must-win territory. I mean, what the way I look at it, right? If we're going to keep it very simple, is we can only lose maybe 6 games a season, and
Hmm.
so 10-6 can get you in, but these division losses are crucial. So we have to
Hmm.
win in our division, and
Yeah.
let's also keep in mind we're not getting a first round draft pick this year. We traded that away for
Hmm.
for Trey Lance. So there's nothing to play for other than to play for the game right now. There's no first rounder. Uh, it's time to ball out, and I think this is going to come down to identifying what type of coaches we have. I think the rookie defensive
Hmm.
coordinator that we have, he's going to have to tighten some things up, make some adjustments. I don't know how that goes, and I think those are going to be some things that I want to watch: is how our defensive coordinator prevails, how
Hmm.
Shanahan calls, gets more people involved, more players involved, and
Yeah.
it's got to get creative here. It's got to get
Yeah. I was,
creative
I was
here.
gonna now that you touch on Kyle, I was gonna say if you're Coach Kyle, how do you prepare for the Rams defense, knowing with the addition of Von Miller?
Well, I think right now, when you look at Kyle Shanahan, and we all know he's a guru. We all know that he's an offensive guru. Is his play calling a little too complicated this season? Is there
Mm.
momentum in the offense in his play calling? It's always a fast paced, you know, play calling style that he has. Maybe we need to
Yeah.
get back to basics. Maybe we need to run the ball a little bit. Maybe we need to be a little more predictable, but make the play calling a little easier, and give the quarterback some options to make some plays on third down, third and short, let's say. And here's the bigger thing: McGlinchey's out for the season. So this
Yeah.
is a big interesting scenario on how we're blocking on the edge right now. And
Who
and
do
you
you
know
think
I
takes over from McGlinchey?
I'm not sure what they're gonna actually do. Whoever it is, they're
Uh-huh.
gonna have to they're gonna have to play a really good game. Maybe they have to get some. Maybe they have to get a fullback over there to help out. Maybe they got to put a tight end over there. But I think that there has to be some momentum in the running game. I think you have to run in this game. There has
Yeah,
to
I
be
agree.
a good running game in this game to just stop some of the bleeding and not put so much pressure on Jimmy G.
Do you think they'll have you think Wilson Jr. will be back, do some you know running ability for the squad besides just Mitchell?
Yeah. I think Wilson Jr. should be back this week, and that's going to be another a great thing too, because Mitchell's having a hell of a year for a rookie, and he runs downhill, and I think you get a little bit of a breather in there, and maybe you now have two guys that are really carrying the load. What we really need to look at is third and short, right?
Hmm.
Third down's a bit of problem for us. Uh, let's get to third and short and put us in a situation where we're able to score or able to make a play that's not just a third and 10, third and
Hmm.
12.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I'm just, yeah, I'm hoping that Coach Kyle, I hope he opens up that playbook a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right,
I don't
right.
think he can come out with the same old type of offensive style plays. It seems like everybody in the league knows that one little play where Kyle Juszczyk kind of gets up there behind the center, and think he's gonna run a yard or two for the first
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
It's like they catching on to that one. So I'm kind of like, man, Kyle, open up the playbook a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
really, yeah, I like to see him get more involved too. But because that was actually part of my question later. But the other question is, now that the Rams have acquired OBJ, and he will be starting tonight. How do you think D'Amico Ryan's defends against the Rams offense now that they have him?
That's a great question, Chili Will. And I'll tell you what, D'Amico Ryans is, I think he's on the clock right now. And I think he needs to stop putting his cornerbacks on an island. They're banged up right now. We have some broken ribs out there.
Hmm.
Our cornerback position has been, up and down, but maybe we got to play a little bit of a nickel. Maybe we got to play. I don't know if we have enough personnel to cover some of the firepower that the Rams are bringing, and it's going to be
Hmm.
so important that D'Amico Ryan's maybe calls that blitz. We
Hmm.
need to get pressure. We need to get pressure. D Ford is out. He's out for the season. So it's going to be interesting who steps up. I
Hmm.
think a lot of the youngsters on the team right now are going to be on an interview basis, right? Because this is going to determine these games are going to determine what our needs are in the off
Hmm.
season. So cornerback is one. I think we can't play around no more with this. We need a cornerback. Either if it's free agency or through the draft. But I think also we might need some sort of another pass rusher. Kinlaw's out for the season. We're a little banged
Hmm.
up on the line. This used to be the strongest position on the team was defensive line. Now we're
Yeah.
having some some injury issues there. So when do you start bringing in guys in the future that are going to really be able to play this defense? I
Hmm.
also like to say, like, we went from a 3-4 defense,
Hmm.
and under Kyle Shanahan, we've been playing the 4-3. So maybe that's something. If D'Amico Ryan's ain't here next year, if he's not stepping up, maybe we look at that. Who do you bring in after this? But the guy's a rookie. He's in a tough
Yeah.
spot, and
Yeah.
the NFL is a business.
True. That's true. And like you said, D'Amico Ryan's. I mean, I know a lot of people kind of want his head on the stick right now, but I kind of sit and look back on it, and I see what he's just up against, far as with a lot of players getting hurt, like
Yeah.
Greenlaw, not being there makes a big difference. Obviously, the secondary, like you said, we've been losing, been taking hits back there, been losing guys. I know that I read that they signed cornerback Savion Smith. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yes. Yes.
I know he's going to the practice squad, so I don't know how much we're going to see him tonight. I think Lenore will probably come back in to take over Norman's spot, and then I think on the other side we'll have our guy Mosley, you know,
Right,
and
right.
I haven't seen the final word as far as if Ward's going to be back. I know they said he's going to try to be back, so hopefully he'll be back at his position tonight. And I would think Telanoa would be back to take
Mm,
over Chart's spot. So, but yeah, you're right. It's D'Amico, he's basically, because where's the swarm defense they were talking about? You know what I mean? And we're just not seeing it. But like I said, we've been taking a lot of hits, a lot of injuries again this year.
right,
So
right.
hard for me to be really too upset, mad with him.
Sure.
I'm sure you remember also when we had our old defensive coordinator who was here 2 or 3 years ago. Oh gosh, my mind just went blank. What's his name again? Oh, the
Rob Sala.
Sully. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
Sully.
yeah.
When he was here, remember the year before we went to the Super Bowl. A lot of people were
Right,
calling for his head to be on the stick. You know what I'm saying?
right, 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 right,
Until Bosa arrived and D4 got here, and then it was like a whole new, whole new revamped defense. And the guys were just playing really good and stuff. So yeah, you
right,
kind of, I guess, like you said, you just kind of take it with a grain of salt. And you just hope that maybe these guys could just pull it together, come out, be focused, and just execute, you know what I mean? And
right,
most
right.
of all, just make good plays, no penalties, let's not make too many of these pass interference calls. Let's try to make them fumble and knock the
Mhm.
ball out, let's try to do the little
Yeah,
things that just make a
man.
big difference, you know what I mean?
It's funny when your season is going tough, the ball bounces a different way, right? We don't get the breaks, and guys are dropping interceptions. But I
Hmm.
think that you know we can be tough on coaches and put our coaching hats on and pretend like we would call it in a Madden game of PlayStation. But if you look at it, like in the end, what I always try to pay attention to is what are our halftime adjustments. You remember in the
Hmm.
80s, when we dealt with Seifert as our defensive coordinator, and then he was our
Oh
head
yeah.
coach. There's the backstories of how crazy he got at halftime, kicking chairs and stuff, and how calm he was on the sideline. What is that halftime adjustment? Does it have to be kicking chairs to wake some people up, or
Right.
is it what do we need to do? What I don't like seeing is a team just doing the same thing on us all
Hmm.
game, and we're not changing our defense. And maybe, like I said, maybe we do have to play a little more nickel. Maybe
Hmm.
we do need some help on with the cornerbacks with a safety, but do we even have the personnel to do that? And so guys are young out there on the corner, and that's like an island, right? And if we're not
Hmm.
getting that pass rush,
Yeah.
you get there's nothing you can do at cornerback if you're not getting a pass rush. So we have to have the perfect storm. Now the Niners play the Rams always very well.
Hmm.
Um, now I would have never guessed the score against Arizona. We were in Chicago. We were coming off
Hmm.
a hyped up Chicago win, and we're like, maybe
Right.
this is the turn of the season for us. And then what it was like 17 to, like, in a snap of eye, they it was
Yeah.
17. What was it, 17-3, 17. We were not playing good on defense or offense,
Hmm.
but Jimmy actually
Yeah.
had a really good game, right?
Yeah. I think he did. I think he
And
had a
it,
really good
it,
game.
it, you just look at it like, what did
Mhm.
we do wrong with their second stringer, and what are we going to do differently this time? And so, Vegas odds right now, they don't have our back. So, but you can
Mm-mm.
never measure heart from a player on the field, right? And so
That's right.
leaders got to lead, and guys need to look in the mirror and do their job right now. Execution, like you said, we
Mhm.
can blame it on the coaching, but then there's execution, and we're going through some growing pains with some of the youngsters out there. So when do we put them in a position where they're not on an island, and maybe
Right.
we do play a little zone. Maybe we have to play a little, because we just don't have the personnel right now to cover man to man in a 4-3 defense. And that's what upsets me, because
Mhm.
and that's why we changed in the past from 4-3 to the 3-4 when we had more
Mhm.
linebackers and got more help in the secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I
And I
just don't know. It's a tough one for our D coordinator, man. It's a
yeah,
tough one.
Yeah, that's true. And like I said, yeah, when you're dealing with that many injuries, you're losing. I mean, like you said, you commented on D Ford being out. I mean, I hope he's not out for the rest of the year because I know he did have that bad concussion.
Yeah,
But I'm hoping that he will be able to return. But it does make you wonder why they picked up Charles Montague
right,
from the
right.
Texans. So hope to definitely see him out there tonight as they play the Rams. So because they got Von Miller, so we
Right.
got Charles,
Von Miller,
you know,
and he's
yeah, that
coming
guy,
to a
that
playoff
guy.
team. He's coming to a
Mm-hmm.
playoff team. These guys are stacking up. Let's talk about that. The moves that
Yeah.
the Rams are making right now, McVay, their head coach, he's being
Mm-hmm.
very aggressive right now, and it's pretty
Yeah, he
smart. I
is.
mean, you're throwing your money out there, but I mean, why not if you think you're going to win the Super Bowl? They went and got OBJ.
Uh-huh.
They got Von Miller. He's older, but he's
Mhm.
still got something in the tank, and the guy wants to play on a winning team. So,
Yeah.
these guys are skilled positions that your defense and your offense has to respect, right? So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
have to put an extra guy there. Maybe you have to keep a running back in the backfield. Now you can't. Now you only got two options as a quarterback to pass. But I think it's going to be very important just to have a
Mm-hmm.
balanced game. A
Mm-hmm.
balanced game. Keep our defense rested, keep our offense in some drives, and have some consistency on both sides. I think that's all we can hope for at this time, and then be in a situation to win the game by keeping it close and not making a lot of mistakes.
Exactly. And I agree 110% with you. At the end of the day, you got 11 guys on offense, you got 11 guys on defense, and it's going to come down to, hey, who wants it bad? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And who's going to go out there, perform, do what it takes to get a W on the win column there. So I expect it's going to be exciting. To me, I always get excited when it comes to the night games, especially Monday Night Football. And because you just never know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
It's just always like the main event of the week. You know what I mean? And some of the games are just really exciting. So, I'm pumped. I
I'm
can't
pumped.
wait. And we're both gonna be cheering on our boys. Um, Now, the Niners are saying they do not expect Mohamed Sanu to be available for this game tonight. So, I'm thinking, either it's going to be, I don't know who our third guy wide receiver will be. Could be Jawan Jennings, maybe Travis Benjamin, or even Trent Sherfield. Who do you think's the next one up in line out of those three guys that could step in and take Sonny's spot?
I think Sherfield. I think we haven't given him his chance. He was balling in the preseason and
I
had some
know.
you know had some big plays. Are we really creating plays to get guys involved? Because it's kind of like if you were in a game in Pop Warner days, and the
Hmm.
coach isn't giving me the ball to the fourth quarter, and maybe I get one catch. You're not really locked in. So we need to get guys locked in. Remember the first 15 plays that we used to write up. Our coaches, from Walsh
Exactly.
to Seifert to a lot of our coaches wrote 15 plays. They were scripted. They got guys involved.
Hmm.
Maybe we need to cater to a couple of guys and get them warmed up. I mean, remember when Jerry Rice wasn't having a good game, and
Yeah.
they were like, let's throw him a few screens. Let's just get him the ball. Let's see what happens.
Hmm.
Let's just get him warmed up in there. Guys need to be involved, and the ball is not being spread around. I mean, I think that Debo is having an amazing year,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
is.
gonna get a
Oh man.
he's gonna get a contract for this. And
Oh yeah.
but here's the thing: can you imagine if our second and third wide receiver stepped up, what we would look like on offense, right? So we
Mm,
got the guy, we got our number one guy. Now we need to know who our number two and number three are, and these guys need
right.
to get these guys need to step up. The writing on the wall is there for them to be a star. It's just who
Hmm.
wants it, and Monday night, guys get hyped up, man, and
Exactly.
I just want to see that right now because that hypes me up for the off season. Who's going to be our John Taylor? Who's going to be our John
Yeah.
Taylor, right?
Exactly.
To Jerry.
Exactly. And you remember back in the day, JT used to burn the Rams up. It was one game he showed up for.
Right,
The
right, right.
Rams, man, on Monday Night Football. Yeah. Oh man. I
Two
don't know. You
ninety
remember the
plus
time when
yard
he
run,
scored like two or three touchdowns for like
290 plus.
70, 80 yard run? Oh my goodness, man. That was Oh, that was
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I remember that like it was yesterday. That
Yep, yep. That was a
exciting
Monday
game.
night too. That was a Monday night too. And I think Joe went undefeated in LA, and that he was losing
Uh-huh.
in that game, and it was two little screen passes, and Jerry blocked all
Yeah,
the way down the field for him, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
that was,
right. The
and,
goat.
and John would have been a starter on any other team, right?
Oh yeah.
He would have been their main number one guy. But we need that.
You're right.
It seems like the second wideout. We haven't found the guy. We're drafting for him, and
Hmm.
but I think wide receiver takes a couple of years. So it's good to see
Hmm.
Debo coming in and be a burner like that.
Yeah.
You just want your other guys that we're spending these draft picks on, because after 3-4 years, you got to then go into a new contract, and you're like, do you want this guy on a re-sign
Hmm.
for another 3-4 years? And then
Yeah.
you let guys go, and you start over. And I don't know, when you spend your draft on a quarterback, if you
Hmm.
continue to want to get new wide receivers that aren't panning out.
Hmm. Yeah. And speaking of receivers, that they finally let go of Jalen Hurd, last week, and
Yeah, I
you
seen that.
know, a part of me is kind of like, well, about time, but I kind of feel bad for the guy because I know he had so much potential, going for him,
Yeah,
and this was a team that really believed in him, and they gave him, more than enough chances to kind of hopefully redeem himself in a way, but apparently just couldn't get over the injuries. And I was even
yeah,
questioning it to a point where I was like, man, why is this dude even here still? Like, why you guys, because it just doesn't seem he can get himself back on the field because
right.
unfortunately all the just injuries, so so yeah, Niners let him go, and and but wish him the best, you know, but
Same,
kind
same.
of sad to see, but
Yeah.
hey, like you said, the nature and the beast of the business of the NFL, man, you're just taking up a spot. You ain't doing nothing the last 3 years. You're just taking up a spot. We
He was
got,
supposed to
let
be
you
our
choose.
he was supposed to be our Swiss Army knife. He was supposed to be like a
Yeah,
Delaney Walker. So,
exactly.
you sit back and you just go, that's too bad. But some of these injuries, let's talk about that. Didn't he have like a back injury? If
Mhm.
you and I had any type of back injury, we're laid up, we're
Oh
not
yeah,
thinking
and I've
about we're
been
not
there.
we're thinking about retirement. So these guys coming
Uh-huh.
back for some of these injuries, and getting older, I start seeing some of these injuries, and you start guessing it, like, that's not a 3 to 6 week injury. That's like
Mhm. Yeah,
that's like for the rest
exactly.
of your life. You start slipping discs and having bulging discs. It's not something that you can just recover from right away. And
Hmm.
so, he had was it a
Yeah.
neck injury, a back injury? He had
Yeah, I
some.
know the back issue was really bad for him.
Yeah,
Well, back during the Super Bowl year, because remember they said he couldn't even fly on the plane and make it out with the
right.
team. It was bothering him that bad. And I know I've been there. I've had back injury before,
Same.
and I don't wish that on my worst enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right.
I know the feeling, man. I definitely know the feeling. Now, moving on, do you feel that Kyle Juszczyk gets more involved in this offense tonight? I think Kyle did a great job when they played against in Arizona
Hmm.
against the Cardinals. It seemed like Juszczyk was really involved in a lot of offense. And I kind of thought like I'm kind of a little surprised that he didn't even play that much. Well, again, I miss a lot, some of the plays, but I don't think he was really involved in offense as much as far as catching the ball, you know,
Yeah,
and everything and making plays, trying to move the chains. But do you think he gets more involved tonight in the
I think
offense?
he I think he's needed on this team to be involved. Now, getting involved as a blocker, he's like one of the best, right, in the
Mm-hmm.
league. He's our lead
Yeah.
blocker, fullback, best in the league, Pro Bowler. Now, getting
Mm-hmm.
involved in our passing game, I think he is another beast in that. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that they've been really doing that. I mean, let's look at how many times are they getting the ball to the fullback out of the backfield. And you know, Kyle is running an offense where but I think you got to get him involved. I think right now you got to go back to getting three,
Yeah.
4 yards, even if it's first down, whatever it takes, even if it's a short one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we start dinking and dunking, playing that Jeff Garcia game, because
You're
I,
right.
I just I just think that when it's not working, we're three and out so fast. Our defense seems, being at the game with you, it seems like we're on defense all day.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
have a couple of beers with that. You're like, hey, are we playing
Yeah.
offense at all today?
Yeah.
So it's just that's how I feel. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I'd be on defense all day. And
Yeah.
then it puts our rookie D coordinator in a hot spot. But you got to play the
Exactly.
short run game.
Mhm.
You get him in, if even if it's 2 yards, let's go. We got to get to third and short. Not
Exactly.
everything's going to be a first down, but it slows the game down. And I think that
Mhm.
we need to go back to that. Remember, Harbaugh's style was to slow that clock down. We took up so much clock time under the way Harbaugh and Alex Smith worked in some of
Yeah.
Alex Smith's best seasons, right? But it
Mhm.
wasn't like they called him a game manager. Maybe we need to manage the games a little more.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not going to be highlights all the time, and it does need to slow down. And I think keeping the Rams offense off the field is going to be important because it's going to keep the game close because they strike pretty
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree. And like you said, I hope D'Amico Ryans, he really does dial up the pressure on Stratford because
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
give that guy any time to throw.
right,
you
right.
know, like you said, it's gonna be a long day at the office, and we're gonna have our hands full again.
Yeah,
But yeah, it would be nice to see Kyle Juszczyk more involved. I think the
absolutely.
guy, I mean, he catches balls and just does. He does things that you don't usually realize.
Mm,
How he can be involved in that offense and help produce first downs when you get him in. Get some plays for him.
right.
Um, so the Rams are favored by 4 if it hasn't changed. And like I said, 49ers have the second most Monday night wins, I think, at 49. So if they win tonight, that'll be 50. And I think they'll be tied with Pittsburgh Steelers for the most Monday night victories. So that would be really exciting if they can go in there and take care of business tonight and,
Right.
and get this victory.
It's possible. Like I said, our team is a very talented team. We're playing under what under our expectations right now. So,
Hmm.
when does it click? Every bad season that we've ever sat through, there's always been a few games where it's like, there it is. Is this the game? Is our back against the wall right now where guys start playing a little loose? Maybe we're a little too tense. Maybe
Hmm.
there's a lot of pressure, but guys need to start playing and have fun out there and just, get to the ball, do their job.
Hmm. How do you feel about? I'm just throwing this out there because it just came to my mind. Uh, when you started talking about Harbaugh, and stuff, and how they control the ball so much, and a big part of that was our running and Frank
Yes.
Gore, and
Right.
Frank Gore was
Right.
looking for some work.
Yeah. It's
Wouldn't
going
it
to
be
be
fun? You
boxing.
think to kind of bring him back, to the organization, because he said he wants to come back. He's always open to
Right.
the opportunity if available, and if they offer it to him, but man, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of think. I know he's at the end of his 10 years of playing football, but man, he's a tough guy, man, and I know he doesn't bring a lot of that speed, but he does have the experience, and
Right.
I really think he could be a good little plus for the offense right now. Seeing how we're kind of hurting in the running backs, right? Until I guess Wilson gets back if he plays tonight or not. But
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to have Frank go back around the tank, Frank the
I
Tank.
would I would always welcome Frank back. I don't know if you know he's boxing in December. He's boxing an
Yeah,
NBA
I saw
player.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna end up ordering that pay-per-view just because I people are like, oh, what is he doing? Well, I gotta watch because that's
Uh-huh.
Frank, right?
Right, right.
But he's in great shape. This team right now, needs to figure out what our identity is. And when you look at what the Rams are doing, let's talk about this again because look at who their head coach is. Sean McVay. Is it Sean? Is it Sean? Right? Sean
Yeah,
McVay and
yeah,
Kyle Shanahan. They were both coming in at the same time. The Niners interviewed Sean McVay, and his grandfather was John McVay, our
yeah,
guy for all through the Super Bowls that did all our contracts and
yeah.
was in the front office, right hand man to Eddie DeBartolo and Carmen Palsy.
Man,
So
good memory. Good
these
memory.
yeah these so they grabbed Sean McVay before Kyle was even available. So we were kind of like sitting
Hmm.
here, do you want this guy? He was like young. And
Hmm.
we did a little interview, and the Rams got nervous and grabbed him immediately before we can even blink after that
Mhm.
interview that we had with him. And I remember laughing, like, he's a little young. And yes, he's got the McVay thing, which was very big. But wow, when
Mhm.
you look at what we thought Shanahan was supposed to be and what he has done, McVay, and how aggressive he is in free
Yeah.
agency to just win. Like, look at the guys they're
Mhm.
grabbing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like him, can we get OBJ? Can we make a move? We're being really conservative on that free agency side. And you got to remember, we don't have a first round draft pick for the next 2 years. So when do you dial it up instead of hoping that the current team right now is all you need? And
Mhm.
that's something that I always, under John York, under Jed York, is different from under DeBartolo, where like a guy gets injured and they're on the phone.
Mhm.
They're seeing who's available, and they're
Right.
bringing experience in, and of course that's where your salary cap can get all jacked up, which is what's happening with the Rams if they don't win. But at the
Yeah.
same time, your fan base is like loving it, right? So like
Right.
they don't think about what's going to happen next year. They're like, let's dial it
Yeah.
up now, right? And then we'll just
Right.
cut guys or be in debt. Who knows? But it's just a yeah. I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous of the
Yeah.
excitement that the Rams organization is doing with free agency. I mean, because really they don't lose a draft pick getting OBJ. He goes
Yeah.
on waivers, right? You were going to have you. People were afraid that they would pick up his contract, so they pick him up for nothing, right? Maybe like I don't know exactly
Now
what
is
the
it
numbers
now
are.
is that because that they waited,
They
that he
waited,
became free
yes,
agent, they didn't have to pay, because I thought that I read that they would have to
right.
pick up his last 7 million whatever and stuff, but they don't have to pay that now.
So they don't now. Now it's a new contract. So if they would have grabbed him in the line of order of the waiver, then they
Mhm.
would have had to pick up the 7 mil on the season or whatever. But they waited so they can rewrite their own terms, right? It's from
Mhm.
what I understand. From what I understand.
Oh, okay.
And then you look
Wow.
at Von Miller, that deal.
Mm.
You need a guy, you want some pressure. He's got maybe
Mhm.
2 years left. He's a beast. He's a pro, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Mhm.
What more of leadership? That's like when we brought in like a Matt Millen in the 80s. Remember how Matt
Yeah.
came in like
Yeah, oh,
last
yeah.
just a leader on the D, right? Like
Oh,
you think
yeah.
of like
Crazy
these
Matt.
moves, and you think of this guy, McVay is calling some crazy, cool little stuff, something that his grandfather was doing. Because
Right.
that's what John McVay was doing. He was patching up stuff.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
was like the Parag Marate of the 80s, but
Right.
won Super Bowls doing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Exactly.
really what you look at, and you're just like, you want I want our coaches to be successful. I want our front office to be successful, but I want us to also be a little aggressive. If we don't have a first round draft pick, are we waiting? I'll give you an example. Last year, Jimmy G gets hurt. We don't think
Uh-huh.
that we need to grab a quarterback or nothing, right? Right?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
just played it out with what we had, and it's like that's not fair to the fan base. And I think that
Right.
what we need is some sort of like a sense of urgency is the word I want to use.
Mhm. Do you think, now going back to the draft, that you touched on, I was just thinking, I don't know. Do you think it was wise to really give up those draft picks for Lance? I mean, do you think they could have stayed at 12? Maybe just kind of waited and see, or did they really want Lance that bad? Because I still just don't get. I don't know. Just from when I talk to people and hear people talk,
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, Lynch is the guy that really wanted Lance, and it wasn't, Kyle. And I'm thinking like, well, hell, he really faked it then, because when they asked him was he happy about getting his pick, he was like, yeah, I'm
Right. Right.
excited about Lance, and he sounded like he was very high on him. So I mean, I don't know. Who knows
Right.
behind,
Right.
and
That's a
what's going on in the office? But I mean, I don't know. I just kind of felt like, I think if we could have stayed at 12, and I think we, if all right, so if Lance did fall in another team's hands, who knows? We could have been with just could have had Justin Fields, or maybe even Mac Jones. I mean, it's
So let's take a peek at that, right? Because if we go backwards into that draft, which was an exciting trade that I've never
Mhm.
seen. I mean, that was one of our most aggressive trades to get into. What was it?
Yes,
The number three
yes,
spot. What was it? Number three, right? It was number three.
right.
But what I didn't understand, and what I was kind of shocked with, do we go quarterback? And everything was like must, yes. But it was the third quarterback that was going to come off the board. So we weren't going to get the first guy. It was going to be the third quarterback off the board, which made me wonder. And then, what's the Bears quarterback's name? The rookie there that they have. I thought it was going to be him. And then what's
Wilson?
No, the Bears quarterback they have there.
Fields.
Fields, yeah, Justin Fields. So Harbaugh goes and sees Justin Fields, and they show his face smiling when Justin's throwing at this, and I'm like, oh, it's Justin Fields. It's got to be.
You know what? Did he look good? No, did he look a little heartbroken?
He was
when they announced
heartbroken
because they showed his face, man. He did not look happy. And then when the Bears picked him, he still didn't look happy.
Yeah, because he went a little back. He went a little further back, and so, but the reason why was the question I want to ask, like when I see Matt Mayoko, I'm going to ask him because I have to ask, were they going to go Justin Fields? But then the medical report came out that he had epilepsy. So then so now we got this third pick. There's two quarterbacks coming off the board. It can't be, and not saying that I don't know how bad it was, but that was the report. And then you start thinking, do you invest the third pick on a potential scenario like that? So then I was like, it had to be Lance. But was that the idea when they traded? Because I don't think they thought that through. And so then you look at it like, here's the kicker on the season that we won't know this year. We'll know maybe in a couple of years. I think Lance is going to be a great quarterback as long as Shanahan doesn't run him between the tackles 16 times a game. But I wasn't ready to give up on Jimmy G yet, and that was like, do we keep what you're saying, stay at our draft pick, probably get Fields while he was there, and then maybe get an experienced quarterback in free agency rather than having the guys that we had that were coming in if Jimmy was hurt, right? So you start thinking like that, and then there was it's just crazy with the injuries, because I think when Mostert got hurt that first game, and I'll say Verrett too, that kind of changed the momentum. You kind of braced yourself after week one, and you're just like, oh man, no way.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And you hit on a lot of key points there, and a lot of what ifs, part of me was a little excited. I was kind of feeling Fields or Trey Lance, and not to really go back all into the drafting again, because it is what it is now. But at the time, just to say, I just felt like, okay, if you're giving up this much draft capital for this guy, then you damn better get it right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's going to look bad come next year. And we know he's going to probably take the reins of this team, Lance, that is. Jimmy's going to be on his way out the door. And, will he be able to live up to, what they expected him to? You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that just kind of scares me in back of my mind. I think about that, and I'm just like, man, I hope this kid really wows us. Obviously we got a little glimpse when he played Arizona. I got to admit, I watched that game a couple of times, and I kind of thought, wow, this kid does have a strong arm, and he's, he can, he's good in the pressure in the pocket, squirming around. I kind of thought, okay, there's the potential. The potential is there, but again, we got to just see him, more, and probably won't, if Jimmy don't get hurt or whatever, but next season, right? So, it's going to be a learning season for him. It's going to be, are we going to be in for like another, I don't know, maybe make the playoffs, maybe we don't, we got a new kid, new rookie here.
Here's the question, Chili Will. Here's the question I got for you, because do we keep Jimmy G after this year? And if we lose today, does Lance play for the rest of the season, or do we throw him in next year and then deal with a potential back-to-back growing pains? Because we're going to have to deal with rookie growing pains. And if you look at Justin Fields, he's playing. He's playing. He no matter what he's doing, he's getting the playing time. And I think the quarterback position, the fear I have is, look what we did with Alex Smith his rookie year. He threw like the only touchdown pass he had that year. He was getting banged up, right? Then you also don't want you also don't want to break his spirit, right? So
Yeah.
so it's kind of like so what do you think about that? Like and what do we get
Uh,
for Jimmy G if he or do we keep him? You know, like what's going on? That's a crazy scenario. It's
well, you know what? Um, it is a good question, and I feel you because you feel like you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, in certain ways. But I think it first of all depends on how the rest of the season turns out. If
right,
we don't make the playoffs, then yeah, you cut the umbilical cord with Jimmy and just say nothing, nothing personal, Jimmy. But we tried to make this work, and it didn't for whatever reason, and now we got to just hand it over to the kid, and now he's got to start doing his thing, and like I said, we don't again, nobody knows how that's going to evolve and turn out. Kid might come out, do really great, maybe comes out struggling a little bit with a few bonehead plays. I don't know, like
right,
you think back when Kaepernick took over for Smith, I mean, damn, he was lighting it on fire. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
And
right.
Lance could do the same thing. We just don't know. And so so back to the question, I think it depends on the rest of the season.
Right.
Now if Jimmy gets us in the playoffs, who knows? Maybe we get up to at least the NFC West Championship. Who knows? Then maybe you think about, yeah, we might want to keep him around another year, but not at the price we have him for now. There's a lot of money tied up in
Well,
Jimmy.
you got a 4-year contract on the youngster, right? He should be playing.
Mhm.
If you pick number 3, you got to have number 3 playing. You need a guy in there that's coming in right away.
Mhm.
Here's my scenario tonight. We win. I think Jimmy keeps playing. I think we get to
Mhm.
6 losses. You start wondering, does Shanahan start becoming on the hot seat and need to make some sort of quarterback change? This is going to
Mhm.
get very, very interesting. But there also needs to be a spark, not just from the quarterback position, but I think for the fan base too. There has
Yeah.
been this laxed, like nothing to see here, no rush. Let's just, and I think, injuries or not, you got to start dialing it up, even if it's with the youngsters to
Exactly.
get their feet wet.
Exactly. And you're right. I think if it get like you said, if it does get to the point where okay, we're not talking playoffs anymore, then yeah, why not? Why not get him in there and start kind of getting him a little more acclimated to playing in the NFL now? We might as
Right.
well. You know. So you know, great night of talk, man. Monday night
Yeah.
game coming up
Yeah.
this evening, man. I'm excited. I know you're going to be there.
Yeah. See,
I'm
see
going
you
to
there
be
at the
there,
tail. Yeah. See you at the tailgate,
right?
man.
And
We got to be there real soon.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. I was going to ask you though, real quick, if you had, what would be your last encouraging words to, for the 49er faithful, for tonight's game? If you could just kind of speak on that a little bit, and and tell, maybe talk about Empire Roll a little bit, because
Yeah.
you're always out there, you and the gang always turn it up, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would say, come out to the tailgate, get there early. Green Lot 1, Pole 20, Empire Row. We got a lot of fun things. DJ coming on board. DJ Maniacal, 408 Swag, 408 Squad. We got the Niner Empire organization. We got you coming out, Chili Will. So come out, enjoy,
Yeah, yeah,
grab some food, get situated with the vibes, and then let's
yeah.
let's let's as fans, let's be there for our team, and let's be loud, and it's faithful, man. So win or lose, this is a way of life. So we're going to be out there regardless. I think we can guesstimate it. We can but we know it's going to be a fun day. It's Monday Night Football. All the cameras are on. Let's have some fun, and let's get loud for the team.
Well, you heard it right there, faithful. You heard it right there. Empire Row with Antonio Arevalo. I'm telling you, it's always a party over there, man. And these guys are always getting keyed up and just ready for a great 49 game. It's always going to be exciting. Antonio, I can't thank you enough for being the guest, and hope we get together, do some more post game talking, and I look forward to that, man. And it's just been truly awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Man. So we'll see you tonight, huh? And
See you tonight.
we're gonna get this victory, man.
Let's get the win. It's a must-win time. Let's get it.
Yes, yes.
Thank you,
All
Chili
right,
Will.
man. All right, my brother. Well, and then, like I said, we'll talk again real soon.
For sure. See you in a bit.
Again, I want to thank Antonio Arevalo for joining us on the 49ers Street Squad post-game huddle, man. How you guys like that? Well, it's all about Monday Night Football. Our Niners going to face the Los Angeles Rams. Got to get this victory tonight. This is really big. This is even bigger than last week. Last week's game was big, but this game tonight, really big. So we got to get this victory. But make sure you guys come down and you come out to the game. Come check out me. Come see Antonio down at the Empire Row, which is located in Green Lot 1. Okay, which is at Pole 20. You can't miss this Empire Road because it's got all the flags up there. And everybody's just, all in alignment. You'll hear all the music, mariachis, DJ going off. It's always a party. It's always a party when the faithful get together because we know how to do it. We know how to turn it up, man, for a football game, man. So really excited about that. And I look forward to seeing you all. Make sure guys, you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and notification bell here on YouTube. So that way, when the show comes out, you guys will be notified, man. I appreciate all the love that the faithful's been showing me in such a short time. And you guys have been truly, truly awesome. And I just want to say thank you. So I look forward to seeing you guys tonight, Monday Night Football.